Last Xmas is one of two Sapphic holiday-themed films to come out this year, and so of course I had to watch it to see what kind of Christmas cheer was in store for us. Last Xmas is set in a small town where Julianne and Maggie have been secretly dating for the last 2 years of high school.
Quick, hide.
You've got to be kidding me.
Jules, please.
It's not a secret because of them being gay, but more so because Maggie, being the prom queen at her high school and having acting aspirations, seems to think that Julianne doesn't have the right look to be her girlfriend.
Okay, people are gonna remember me. No one even notices you.
Ouch. Unsurprisingly, this leads to Julianne breaking up with her, and then they both go off to pursue their careers. 10 years later, they find themselves both back in town at the same time for Christmas, having lived on opposite ends of the United States, with Julianne becoming New York's youngest chef and Maggie eking out a career in Los Angeles as an actress. Or maybe not, because her claim to fame is a nationwide car commercial and she's desperately broke. That doesn't stop her sleepy little town from giving her the key to the city, an actual key. One she learns she is to share with none other than Maggie.
There isn't anyone less deserving of this award than Maggie Pierce.
Since things didn't end well between them, and because there are clearly unresolved feelings, their reunion is frosty. And that progresses to full-out hostility when they keep running into each other again.
Look, this is my town.
Sorry, I didn't realize you got the whole town in the breakup.
Just stay away from me.
Like I even want to be near you. You smell like fish.
And again.
What are you doing here?
What am I doing here? At a diner? I don't know. Do you ask all of your customers that?
We're actually all out of food today.
Hostilities don't erase the fact that Maggie needs a job because of being broke, and it seems that the only place hiring is Julianne's family diner. So, Maggie swallows her pride and asks if she can have a job.
I need a favor.
My answer is no. That's something you do for somebody that you like, and, well...
While Maggie is resistant at first, for the sake of their past, she says yes. And so, both women find themselves working in close quarters, and when they get accidentally locked in the attic of the diner, their frosty attitude melts away.
All I ever wanted was to be close to you. I messed up.
Things do get a little complicated, however, when Maggie's latest ex, Vivien, turns up unexpectedly wanting her back.
I made a mistake. I realized almost immediately after we broke up that I want you.
The movie is from Unsolicited Project, which you may also know as the Gay Women's Channel, run by Ariana DeLeonardo and Sarah Rotella, who are, by the way, after years of speculation, officially married. It's old news by now, but still in case you didn't know. Ariana wrote the script and Sarah directed it, and also made a quick cameo quite fittingly from behind a camera. They have made other movies and web series, probably the most well-known being Almost Adults, starring Elise Bauman and Natasha Negovanlis, who you probably know from the 2014 web series Camilla. And while Almost Adults wasn't a love story, Last Xmas most certainly is. The film definitely has the Christmas aesthetic, including snow and a U-Haul for reasons I didn't quite grasp, but I do appreciate the nod. I thought the two leading ladies did a solid job with their performances. I really rather enjoyed the wholesale support from friends and family. Julianne's mum in particular was pretty cute with her encouragement for Julianne to get out there. I mean, also perhaps a bit uncomfortable to have your mum telling you to get laid and then telling you about how she isn't getting laid, but I appreciate the enthusiasm. And really, the whole town was pretty enthusiastic about getting Julianne and Maggie together because, I guess given they are both famous in their town and gay, Maggie, despite not having really cracked Hollywood, is still seen as a famous actress by the town folk, and so I guess they thought these two gays would go rather well together. I think that after their relationship ended a decade ago, it must have gotten out that they dated. I'm not sure, but the town seems to be very aware of their business, with talk of Maggie's ex-girlfriend Vivien coming to town lighting up the grapevine. Speaking of Vivien, I wish we'd gotten more of her. She was cool. And to be honest, I kinda liked her better than either of the leads. I mean, she kinda jumped the gun and did a whole U-Haul thing, very gay of her. She and Maggie were flying the red flags for their relationship, but still I kinda really shipped that more than what was going on with Maggie and Julianne, and the reason for that is because the reason why Maggie and Julianne broke up in the first place. It just felt like they didn't really address that. As I mentioned before, Maggie chose to hide her relationship with Julianne when they were in high school because Julianne wasn't the right look for her as a prom queen and aspiring actress, which is not a small issue, right? It's essentially saying that Maggie isn't good enough for her, and I would imagine there is a lot of shame surrounding that for both girls. There was also Julianne, who was not prioritizing Maggie during their relationship because she was so focused on her studies, and as we find out as the movie progresses, Maggie would come around almost every day trying to see Julianne, but because she was so strict with her study time, she wouldn't see her. So there was rejection on both ends, which I guess means both of them were at fault in the breakup. But then Maggie, even 10 years later, is still trying to hide the fact that they dated, which doesn't make sense to me because by then Julianne is a super successful chef at the top of her game. So if it was about being good enough, surely she is more than good enough now. And then there is Julianne, who is again not prioritizing Maggie when she drops her when they're meant to go on a date. So it seems like neither of them have really moved past their high school selves. And in all honesty, the fact that this caused them to break up the first time, I feel like this being the modus operandi for both of them makes it a deal breaker. At least it would for me. Unless they had a considered and honest conversation dealing with both these issues, but because this is a Christmas film, instead we get the grand declaration. This is an expected convention of the genre. It just felt like rather than resolving the conflict between them, it swept it under the rug. There are other moments throughout where the logic or the flow of sequence didn't quite gel for me as well. There were also some supporting performances that I thought weren't great, and perhaps if it was hitting the hallmark level of tropiness, these things wouldn't feel so noticeable. But with the central conflict of the movie being what it was, it did introduce a tinge of realism, something a bit more serious, so I guess I wasn't quite satisfied with a Hallmark-style ending. Am I just watching too much content and getting too critical? I don't know. I'm comparing everything to Wicked right now and nothing compares, and just didn't sparkle the way I wanted. It did ultimately serve an easy, relatively breezy holiday film, and if you wanted to get your hands on it, it's available in a few places like YouTube if you're in the US, and I think Vimeo is worldwide. It's also on Amazon and Apple Plus and Fandango. I reviewed the other Sapphic film that came out this holiday season last week, so click on the video on your screen if you want to check that out. And next week I will have 3 mini reviews of holiday films with Saphics in them that you probably haven't seen. Until next time, lady lovers.